Well, I think, you always take the world that you live in, as your inspiration.
So, what if we are here for a reason? What if we are not just in the universe, but the universe is within all of us?
Think about quantum entanglement. Two electrons, once bonded together, in love, if you will, suddenly separated by a galaxy, but somehow still just as connected.
So, in viewing Wrinkle in Time last night, one of the things that stood out to me was the chemistry between the two of you as parents, as a couple. How did you bring Dr. Alex and Kate to life in the beginning? Did you get scripts around the same time and start working together immediately?
Not at all, no. It was just the luck of the draw. I mean, chemistry is an ineffable thing. It just is either there or it's not. And Gugu's a lovely human, and I think we, I don't know, just got along pretty quickly, and
Yeah.
I don't know. And then you're kind of this crazy situation where you're thrust in the first day of work, and you're like, and you've been together for 15 years, and go.
Action. Yeah, it's kind of, we did have relatively few scenes to sort of create this dynamic of a lived-in marriage, and then obviously we're separated for the duration of the movie. So, it was really sort of talking to Ava and her sort of weaving in the backstory of them growing up together as scientists, and that they weren't just sort of a meeting of hearts, but also a meeting of minds. They're sort of intellectual equals, and that's sort of part of the chemistry and the attraction between them is that, both pioneering scientists and, pioneers in their field. So yeah, it was kind of, fun to explore, and as I say, in very brief details.
Well, in that, even though it may have been brief at times, we still got a sense of the struggle, not only between there was some mention of ego versus the soul, and needing to take care of family, take care of self. Had either one of you seen struggles like this growing up in your lives? Because I understand that one of your parents was a doctor, and you went to Cal in the Bay Area, so I'm sure you've met people that worked in the sciences. Did you draw upon any experiences from folks that you knew that worked in these fields?
No, I think for me it's what it means to be human. Is the struggle for the soul is for something greater and bigger and spiritual, and the struggle of the ego is for something pretty concrete and something that can be defined by money or power or status or any of those markers. So I think my character's struggle was just a really kind of cosmic version of what I guess we all go through. I don't know.
Well, last question. The struggle with light energy versus dark energy. When you guys were filming, with all the things going on in the world, Me Too, gun control, kids being scared to go to school, were there things that you were drawing upon that were happening in the real world that inspired you while you all were filming?
Well, I think, you always take the world that you live in, as your inspiration. I think, for me, and we were actually shooting, like more than a year ago. I can't remember specifically what was in the news at that exact moment, but I think that's the great thing about the story. Light versus darkness is so universal, and I think, especially this story where it's a young woman having to become a warrior. I think, certainly with the women's movement and how that has ignited in the last few months. I think, certainly a character and a actress like Storm being at the center of a story like this and taking her power couldn't be more relevant.
An unbroken union despite being galaxies apart.
And our most recent calculations show us that these fields connect us to other dimensions. Dimensions outside of the limitations of space and time. Imagine that, imagine. Rather than enduring the oppressive rules of time and space, we could wrinkle it. 91 billion light years traveled like that.